I think just like you can't technically be racist towards a white man or sexist towards a man. I think it can be insensitive and it can be rude and hurtful.
But
I think because my core belief that power dynamics play a lot into how the cultural significance of what something means.
Are women a minority?
Maybe not minority numerically, but definitely, I wouldn't say we're oppressed, but I would say, and you can't compare struggles.
Why not?
Isn't that the
Because
feminism?
everyone has their own struggles.
Yeah, that's why they should be
Every group has their own
compared.
struggles.
Well, I mean, but if you say that there's a power dynamic, right, there could have been tons of struggle to get to the power dynamic, right? So becoming powerful, becoming king, maybe there was a big struggle there. Is she going to make still the comparison, though, that this person's more
I think
powerful
there's more
than that?
obstacles for one compared to the other.
And so isn't that a judgment? Like it's an assessment, and so you are comparing struggles?
Maybe so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say women are oppressed, especially when compared to black women. But I would say that they definitely have more obstacles than men. That doesn't mean men don't have struggles. And I think you can say hurtful things that are considered sexist to a man, but in a cultural significance, they don't compare.
Two things really quick. So just definitively, can you be sexist towards a man?
I don't think I have a definitive answer. I think it's a gray area.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well,
I think
we
it's a
disagree
yes.
on that.
I think it's a yes or a no.
I disagree.
Okay.
Can I give a hypothetical situation?
Sure.
Yeah.
Just say that there was a little utopia of women all existing together, no men whatsoever, a little colony of women. And then a man walks in and they all point guns at him and they arrest him, they lock him up and they put him in a prison.
Sexist.
And they say, this
That's
is because you are a man. And then every day they walk into his cell, they throw feces on him and they say, that's because you're a man. Would that be sexist?
Yes, but that's not the world we live in.
Hold
That's
on.
a hypothetical.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll ask this.
Sexist.
And I do want to credit Andrew for this one a little bit. If a business that was owned by men didn't want to hire a woman just because she was a woman, not for some other reason, she wasn't qualified, although she was, but would that be sexist? If
Yes.
you didn't want to, is it sexist for women to cross the street when there's 3 men coming towards her
No.
at night
No.
because they're men? It's not sexist.
But this leads back to my other point.
So just to be clear-
I think yes, the 3 men walking down the street can be hurt by that and say, well, why doesn't she trust me? But I think in the grand scheme of history and culture and power dynamics, there is a reason why the woman feels that way.
I'll even grant that there's a bigger impact on women for a company to refuse to hire them because they're women. I'll grant it. But is it still sexist?
For a company not to hire a woman
Because she's a woman.
She's a woman. Yes, it's sexist.
It's sexist. So how is it not also sexist for a woman to cross to the other side of the street because she has a bias against men that they are a potential violent threat? How is that not sexist?
Because like I said before, I think in the grand scheme of things, culturally, there's a different significance.
Hold on. So I'll grant that there's varying levels of sexism, right? So for example, choosing to kill someone because of their sex, you would agree that, or well, I suppose you would only think it would be sexist if a man killed a woman because she's a woman, but a woman who, who's the one who tried to kill Andy Warhol?
What if it's a black woman who's crossing the street and it's 3 Native American men?
That's actually crazy. hypothetical question.
That's not a crazy
Hypothetically.
hypothetical. It's a black woman says she sees 3 Native American men walking towards her, and she crosses the street to
I
avoid
do
them.
think that's a crazy hypothetical question because that takes into a whole other complex lot of layers that include a lot more cultural significance than
Yeah, so what's
Wait.
the
Yeah,
answer?
Like, it depends on how
I
they
don't
Wait,
know,
wait, wait.
because I don't
Actually,
know
hold
the
on.
history
Wait,
that
wait,
well
wait.
for
I got
Native
this.
Americans.
By the way, Techno Trooper, we will come back to your TTS, but I want to get through this conversation first. So we will get into the biggest struggles men have when it comes to dating.
It's like it's the oppression Olympics.
But it could be how they're
hold
dressed
on.
too.
Wait. So question for you. Okay. Perhaps using the sort of different scenario is not the best. If there was a company that was operated by women and they refused to hire men, would this be sexist?
Yes.
Wait, I thought you can
Because
be sexist.
there's-
I thought you can be sexist towards men.
But crossing street
Ah,
and
hold
taking
on.
people to working in a
I've already
company,
moved
2
off of that
different
example.
things.
Because then in that case, I think if there's a whole room of women, I think because that's a similar hypothetical question to what you asked. If it's all women, and then it's like, well, I guess also there are companies
Well,
that
what
are
about
just
the
women.
history of power dynamics? We have
I
to
know, I
take in
still
the
think
whole history of women. And as you know, women have been far more oppressed than men. So if that is the case,
No, it's
how
not
could a
sexist.
woman... Yeah,
Because
it's not sexist,
I do
right?
think just like there are Hispanic groups and like Black groups for different communities and things that where people like film production companies or like unions even they advocate for a specific group of people, right? And so if it is just
Sure.
a group of women and they exclude a man for that reason, then sure, my grandma's in a women's club
Yeah,
and they advocate
but
for
that's
women.
but then you're disregarding the entire history of women.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
Well,
I have
so,
a better question.
so if
Why
yeah,
I
I wanna
can't
hear other
to
people
speak?
speak.
Hang
huh?
on.
No, I
Yeah,
wanna
why
hear other
only
people speak.
she's speaking like for 30 minutes
I do
non-stop?
wanna
I'm sorry, the attention's not 100% on you right
no,
this
but
second.
I do think other women should speak.
Yeah, and they have
so.
been.
So have I, though.
I'm
I
just
do think-
asking.
okay.
I'm just asking a couple of follow-ups here.
We
Right?
can go back to those.
Like,
No, actually, she needs a break. She shared with me
I'm
that
sorry.
she needs a break.
Is it
She
just like,
did take a break.
Is it
Yeah.
like 2 questions and then I need a break? I'm just curious
No,
about
I
about
just-
the answer.
No, I just wanna hear what other
Here
people
some
have to say
other
as well.
girls also
I
wants
know.
to speak.
I want to hear what they have to say
Then
too.
let's listen.
I also
Yeah.
want to hear what you have to say. So that's why I'm
Thank
asking
you.
you the
Let's
question.
listen to other women as
Yeah,
well.
I know,
Long podcast.
and we will as soon as I'm done listening to your answer to the question.
Wait, didn't you get all butthurt because you had like 30 seconds on the Charlie Kirk thing? We're giving you...
I wasn't butthurt.
Okay, you weren't
I said
butthurt, but,
rightfully
like-
so. I said yes, I should have gotten voted off, and I did.
Yeah, how long... By the way, how long was the shoot?
The Jubilee thing?
Yeah.
Like 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay, and you got like 1 minute of screen time, basically?
Yeah, because I wasn't logical.
How about I make a deal? I'll ask one last question. That's it.
And then I'll ask like 50, but go ahead.
Okay.
And I just
I'll
won't
ask one
answer.
last question.
Okay.
For next 30 minutes.
Is it, well, 2. It's going to be 2, but it'll be very fast. You agree with me that you can be prejudiced without it being racist? Meaning, if like a group of black people hate white people because they're white, they're not being racist, but they're still being prejudiced. Like it's prejudicial, right?
I think in being racist or being prejudiced, but I think you can be prejudiced without being
Racist.
Racist.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so they would be being prejudiced in a situation like that.
for what was the scenario again?
If they just hate you because you're white.
Yes.
Yeah, that's prejudice, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me why morally being prejudiced is better than being racist?
I don't think one's well. That's a good question that I don't have a specific answer for.
You should think about that.
I'll think about that.
Just sent 2
She
links.
will. All night long.
So I'm a little confused because it seems like you're leaning towards women cannot be sexist towards men, or you just can't be sexist towards men in general, it sounds like. But you did seem to concede that in the example I provided, that this scenario I provided, that are you
Well, I mean, he said he was going to ask 2 questions. Let me move on.
yeah, he said that. Is it that
And then you said
just,
you were going to ask
Good
questions, and I said I wasn't
job,
going to answer it because I want to hear other women speak.
Just
is
doesn't
it,
wanna- she doesn't wanna
is it
engage,
because
man.
you just don't want your worldview to be challenged because it will crumble under scrutiny?
I think.
By the way, this is, I mean, my line of questioning has been fairly milquetoast and polite, but I do find it interesting that when you get even the slightest degree of perhaps questioning or pushback on your worldview, you refuse
As
to
if
engage.
that's not been happening this entire time. And I've been answering the entire time.
Well, you're not really allowing me to continue on with the exchange, so. And I don't think it's fully been settled, so. Do you know what stonewalling is? Do you think it's healthy to do that in a relationship?
What? Stone what?
Stonewall.
Okay, I'll bring it back to a dating related. Do you think stonewalling in a relationship is toxic? Answer the question.
Yes.
What the hell is that?
It's like refusing
question.
to.
Address any problems, anything that's wrong,
What?
anything you guys might face as a couple. I'm assuming.
asking
So
a
like, if you guys argue, if there's something you
Speaking
guys,
to the mic.
if you guys are like arguing, and if you guys just choose not to talk about it, or if you guys just want to like push it under the rug, that's basically what stonewalling is. Not addressing or wanting to fix the issue.
I mean, you can do that if you want to break up.
Right.
Like, you have to have communication in a relationship.
That's why
or
they're
else
asking
just
if it's
Yeah.
toxic.
Oh, okay. It's toxic.
What do you think about that? Is stonewalling good or bad in a relationship?
If it's a relationship you're trying to sustain, are we friends right now? Are we like in a relationship? Like this is not something that I want to, like this is not grass I want to water right now. I want to move on, and that's what I'm doing.
Then break up.
You can't really you can't really just be like, well, I've put something out there, but I'm not prepared to defend it. I don't think you can be, you were essentially saying you can't be racist towards white people. You can't be sexist towards men. I believe that's your position. You're trying to cloak it in this sort of vagueness of, well, there's black and white. But essentially, because you would say emphatically and definitively, you could be racist towards women, yes?
Racist towards
Or
women?
excuse me, I apologize.
Guys, I want to make a statement.
Oh my
I could
God,
not
you
handle.
can't-
I
you
could
cannot
not
keep fucking
handle
interrupting.
that boring questions anymore. I'm falling asleep. I'm going home. I love you all bitches so much.
All right,
Mwah,
let's
mwah,
go.
mwah, mwah.
Touch My
Fuck
Black
out then.
donated $200. Wait,
Out the
whose show is
description.
this? Are you permitted to run it and ask questions?
Yes, just like I'm permitted to ignore them.
I mean, you're under no obligation to answer any questions, but it sort of is super bad faith to not want to engage with the conversation.
Well, isn't this a group discussion for a reason though, to hear other perspectives? And I've been talking for the past hour. Can do
Well,
other
you
women?
know-
Do you guys want to say anything?
You know, maybe if you kind of
Can
just
I-
answered
can I
the
hear
questions,
you
I'd
guys
be able.
speak?
Maybe if you just answered the questions.
Going against you, they're asking you questions. That's why we can't speak right now, because they're asking you, not us.
They're not directed towards us.
Like I would, we've.
I think they're
kinda-
just trying to like hear like the reasoning as to the statements that have been
I
made.
just feel like I've been trying to explain my. Okay, then let's do it. Let's
but-
keep going.
but